are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to College Loop Podcast. I'm Larck. I went on Twitter, hit a preview this week's game versus the Missouri Tigers as the Auburn Tigers look to get back in the win column for the first time in so very long. And of course, if I feel a little rushed, it's because Auburn basketball is currently playing as I'm recording, and it's currently halftime. And believe me, we're going to be talking about Auburn basketball on Sunday because right now I'm still not too sure how I feel about this game on Saturday. Of course, this game kicks off at 6:45, SEC Network. Of course, Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Now, a lot of things are going on with this game. All right, Missouri's coming off of a loss against Alabama where they were very nearly on the right side of that game, almost getting the upset in Bryant-Denny Stadium. But, of course, some things happened, and they did not. Auburn, on the other hand, also almost on the – I don't know why this screen just turned on me, but Auburn almost on the right side of that game as well until they weren't in the second half. Now, this is a big game for a lot of different things. For starters, I think if Auburn loses this game, I think Hugh Freeze does not make it through the next week of college football. Because, you have to get to a certain number of wins to maintain the confidence level in you as a coach and maintain the confidence level from the team that you are capable of bringing the team to glory or bringing this team to a competitiveness that Auburn fans have not seen since 2019. So as I look at this game, there are some things I think Auburn does well versus Missouri. There's some things I think Missouri does well against Auburn. And I think you have to start with Missouri's run game in this one. And it's kind of good. I'm going to get my keys in the game, and then I'll go fully in depth on how good of a run team Missouri is. But for Auburn, you got to play all four quarters. What we've seen over the past few weeks of Auburn football is their incapability to continue games. You got knocked out of it versus Georgia because you stopped playing. You focused way too hard on what wasn't going right for you that you didn't do anything to try to get back into it. So for Auburn, you have to be willing to play the whole game. And it's just something we've not seen in the SEC play yet out of Auburn. They have been known to take breaks and just flat out just lose the games like that. My next one, and it kind of builds, these all build off each other. Don't let the officials determine how the game goes. I know the penalties suck and the officials in the SEC suck. Believe me, every team in the SEC is dealing with the same issues Auburn is. But you cannot sit there and sulk about it. The fans can. I can sit there and watch the television and sulk about the game all I want. The thing is, the players can't do that. The coaches can't do that. You need to be willing to get past that adversity and make the best of it. Don't let a holding call that wasn't really holding take you back. Don't let a controversial fumble call, completely take you out of the game. The officials aren't trying to tackle you. The officials are not. They're blind at times, but they're not doing anything to hinder your ability to make plays happen all the time. So Auburn cannot let the officials take over this game and take over their mindset. And then my last one is get momentum and don't give it back. That's something Auburn did versus Georgia, and it killed them. Auburn had it all the way through the first half, and then they let Georgia get the better of them, and they didn't do anything to get it back. And those are just the keys to the game for Auburn. And again, it's just all mental. It's all mental mistakes Auburn made last game that really hurt them the most. And you have to be strong in that aspect of your game in order to get back in the win column. Now, going into my key players to watch here, of course, I'm going to start off Missouri. Ahmad Hardy is my guy to watch here from Missouri. Currently leading the SEC in rushing yards. Currently, I think, top 3 in the nation in rushing yards, 782 yards, averaging 7 yards a carry, with also 9 touchdowns as well. Again, Auburn has had to face a fair share of good running backs this year. Ahmad Hardy, they've already seen him once on a worse team, but he is much improved. I don't know what the opposite of a sophomore slump is, but he's having a sophomore bump because he is lighting it up, and definitely a guy who you could see as like a Heisman candidate. I do believe he's the best running back in the country, and Auburn's going to have to deal with that. He has 115 carries on the year, and of course, right behind him, I mean, Missouri runs the ball. Jamal Roberts has 400 yards, the backup running back. Marquise Davis has 200 yards, and even Bo Pribula is also running the football extremely well. I mean, Auburn isn't doing, terrible, but again, I mean, they're not running it like they should be. But if Auburn is not watching Ahmad Hardy and not keying in on him, if you could take Missouri's run game out of this situation, and I mean, I'll even kind of add this to my key matchup real quick about Ahmad Hardy versus Auburn's run defense. If Auburn is able to get Ahmad Hardy out of the game, like take that aspect of the game out of it for Missouri, and force Bo Pribula to be the only person able to do anything, Auburn will make him make mistakes. If Auburn forces Missouri to try to rely on the passing game, good things will happen for this Auburn defense, and good things could happen if the Auburn offense, answers back from what happens from that. There's a lot of happens going on there, but Ahmad Hardy, if he gets going, it's going to be very hard to stop the Missouri offense. They are very reliant on his ability to run the football. So got to stop the run game here if you're Auburn. And again, that brings up that D line. You got to play your best game thus far. You did a good job versus Georgia. You got to keep it up this time around. You have got to stop Ahmad Hardy, and you have got to force Missouri to pass the ball. If Bo Pribula is the key here for Auburn defensively, you need to make him make those mistakes that he can and will make. He's 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions this year. So you got to make those plays happen. I mean, I'm going to flip over to Auburn's side again. Offensively, I got to watch out for Jackson Arnold. Again, this is a game where I think if Jackson Arnold keeps making those same rookie mistakes that he has been, I mean, he's not turning over the football outside of the fumbles, but it's something I mentioned to one of my friends that I was talking to about. It's not the fact that he's throwing interceptions. It's the fact that he's missing out on these big plays that are, forcing not turnover and downs, but punts. And, the thing is, they're not worse than interceptions because they don't show up on the stat sheet. But I think, when you talk about how Auburn is efficiently, you have to discuss how similar it is to interceptions. Those touchdowns that you missed, Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman, those passes that you were underthrowing on check down throws. You cannot keep doing this and be a starting quarterback in the SEC. I think for Auburn, you have to make something happen here. If you're reverse that. If you're Jackson Arnold, you have to make something happen for Auburn. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be the starting quarterback. If you are unable to make these plays happen, you cannot be the starting quarterback. It just can't. You're not even managing the game correctly. Because I can't even say right now that Jackson Arnold is an X factor, because he's not. But he's not. He's a game manager who's not managing the game. He has no experience managing the game. And that's what's hurting Auburn's offense the most. And then I kind of look over at Missouri's defense, and they have a guy in Damon Wilson who, has 5.5 sacks on the year and definitely could make a terror out of this. If he gets to Jackson Arnold and gets to him a lot, I think it's going to go very poorly for Auburn in this game. I mean, I truly think that Auburn, this is a hit or miss game, and it scares me to death that I'm going to be talking about how Auburn it might have to, throw all hands on deck, DEFCON 1 in the middle of the football season, because it's just been that bad offensively. So kind of just continuing on. I hate that it feels like I'm kind of rushing it a little bit, but I mean, it's same old issues that we're talking about here. Key matchups. I talked about Ahmad Hardy and the Auburn run defense. Going to go on the Jackson Arnold versus Bo Pribula. Yeah, this is a mid versus mid matchup of the quarterbacks. If the run game's taken out of both of these games, then it's going to be an interception off, and it's going to be a battle of two quarterbacks who aren't getting it done, but are being saved by the talent that's around them. Which I can't really say that much to Jackson Arnold's side, but yeah, these two quarterbacks. Bo Pribula, stat-wise, he is better than Jackson Arnold. He doesn't have as many. He just has interceptions on him, but he completes more passes. He's getting the ball down the field more. He has the X factor level plays. He has 1,300 yards passing already on the year. And listen to this: he has 400 more passing yards than Jackson Arnold does, and he has it on 8 more passing attempts. So, Bo Pribula, he's prone to making the mistakes, but also he's also very good at making sure his players get the ball correctly, which Jackson Arnold has not been. But again, that's when the run game's working for him. If the run game's not working, then it should be in Auburn's favor. And sorry, I have to keep pausing. I still have that cough going on. My last matchup of the game, DJ Durkin versus Eli Drinkwitz, which very well could be a head coaching matchup in a couple of years. Durkin is going to have to coach his butt off in this one, which he has been all year. Auburn's defense has been extremely good. Eli Drinkwitz's offense, though, has also been really good. So this is strength versus strength here for these two teams. Missouri, I can't even fully say that because Missouri's defense isn't bad either. Their run defense is phenomenal, and their pass defense is pretty dang good. Their defense has been playing lights out. And what Auburn's got to do is almost feels like the defense has to score touchdowns for Auburn to win this game, or like do what Xavier Atkins did and get down to the 2-yard line, and then hopefully the offense can't screw that up. We've seen two sides of that coin where Auburn has and Auburn hasn't. So yeah, this game is a rough one to because right now Missouri is a 1.5-point favorite. It's a pick'em game. And again, it's just another instance of I just can't trust Auburn to win football games when they matter the most. I'm picking Missouri to win this game. I'm going to have Missouri win at 24-21. Auburn starts off 0-4 in SEC play. And again, I think this is the end of the Hugh Freeze era. It feels inevitable. Auburn can win this game. I think this has been the most winnable game on the schedule for Auburn in the SEC. And I hate saying that because Auburn should have won all of their games thus far. But I just can't fathom a world where Auburn's offense is able to get it done. I have them scoring more points than they have all SEC schedule long, but I still have them losing this game by 3 points. So that's my pick. Let me know what y'all's prediction is in the comment section below for Auburn versus Missouri. Of course, it just feels like the same old. I've not been told anything throughout the week that persuades me to think that we're going to see a different offense. We're going to have a different result going forward into this weekend. So that's my pick. Let me know what y'all's in the comment section below. Of course, we'll go a quick little break. As always, let's have this break and do our pick'ems of the week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your College Loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
Before you get that thewarreport.com, don't forget that it's not even the best way to support the channel. You get all the merch you possibly can. The merch is great, but also the best way to support the channel is, of course, by liking the video, by commenting on the video, leaving your prediction for Auburn versus Missouri, and, of course, subscribe to the channel, which, again, getting so very close to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all who have tuned into the College Loop. Thank you all to everyone who has subscribed to College Loop. Thank you all. Now, with that, going to go with these pick'ems. We got top 10 games of the week. Starting off with number 10, LSU traveling to Nashville, take on number 17, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's the favorite. Vanderbilt's, I think, is the FPI favorite. That might be a typo on my part. I'm taking Vanderbilt in this game. I think they've been the better team. LSU has looked fraudulent throughout the year. So I'm going to take the Vanderbilt Commodores to get the big win over a top 10 team in LSU, which furthers my non-confidence, the confidence that I lack in Auburn winning against Vanderbilt this season, just because of what I've seen thus far. So taking Vanderbilt in that one. Up next, Georgia Tech at Duke. Georgia Tech undefeated, number 12 in the nation. Duke actually the favorite in this game, but I'm not going to pick against the Yakets. I think they've been extremely good. I think that they're the favorite right now to win the ACC. I think they're going to keep it up like that. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very, very close. Up next, Washington at Michigan. Michigan is a big favorite here, or not a big favorite, touchdown favorite in this one. But I'm going to take Washington. I think Washington's offense has been very good this season, and I think they're going to be a nice surprise to Michigan. So I'm going to take Washington to get the upset here in this one. Washington should be ranked, by the way. They only have one loss. They should be ranked. So up next, back to the SEC. Got number 14, Oklahoma, traveling to Columbia, South Carolina, to take on the Gamecocks. Oklahoma is a favorite. Oklahoma also coming off of an embarrassing loss to Texas. But regardless, I'm going to take Oklahoma to get the win here. No shocker there. I'm not very impressed with South Carolina this year, but I'm going to roll with the Sooners on that one. Rivalry game, number 4, Texas A&M and Arkansas. I can't remember if this game is in Dallas or not, but A&M is the away team. Also the favorite. Bob Petrino gave Tennessee a heart attack last week. I don't foresee this happening again. So I'm going to take the Aggies to get the win here. Mike Elko adds another win to his belt. Now getting to the fun ones. Number 5, Ole Miss travels to Athens, take on number 9, Georgia. Georgia touchdown favorite. Georgia 70% chance to win by ESPN FPI. This is a 2:30 kick, the SEC on ABC game of the week. I'm taking the Rebel Black Bear Land Sharks. I've not been impressed with Georgia. I've not really been impressed with Ole Miss all that much. But I think the offense of Ole Miss can make more things happen than Georgia's offense can. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to get the win in this one, which upset spread-wise and coach-wise, but not an upset in the rankings. Up next, number 20, USC travels to Indiana, take on the number 13, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame is a favorite in this one, and I think they keep rolling with that. I'm going to take Notre Dame to get another win and kind of keep proving that, their 2 losses aren't bad, and that's why they still should be ranked. I never understood the hatred for Notre Dame for, getting 2 losses and still being ranked because, they played against 2 top 5 teams and only lost by a margin of 4 combined points. So I'm not with it. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one. Another rivalry game, the 3rd Saturday in October, number 11, Tennessee, traveling to Bryant-Denny, taking on number 6, Alabama. Alabama's a 7.5-point favorite. 6:30 kick on ABC. I'm taking the Volunteers to get the upset here. I like Tennessee's offense. I think they've played very well this year. Again, I feel like the Arkansas game might have been a little bit of a fluke. I feel like they were looking ahead to Alabama, so I expect them to be prepared. So I'm taking the balls on this one. That's the hand sign for them. 9th game up, and the runner-up for one of the best rivalry names of all time. Number 23, Utah Utes taking on number 15, BYU Cougars in the Holy War. Utah, 3.5-point favorite. BYU actually the favorite per ESPN FPI. And if you know me, you know how hard it is for me to pick against Utah. I like Utah a lot. I like Devin Dampierre, and I think Devin Dampierre leads them to a win in the Holy War. So I'm taking the Utah Utes in this one. Now, for the last one, I saved the best for last. The Lafayette Cougars are traveling to Oregon State to take on the Beavers. The Beavers are 0-7. And Lafayette, I don't even know what branch of college football they're in. I don't know if they're FCS, D2. I don't even, let me look this up because, it gets funnier wherever they are. They're Division One. They are FCS. So yeah, I'm taking. Let me add this on. OSU is a 22.5-point favorite. They're favorite to win by Eastern FBI by 91.4. This game's on the CW, so you know crazy things are going to happen. It's 9 p.m. kick. I'm taking Lafayette. It's too funny to not take Lafayette in this one. So that's my biggest upset, I guess, just because I want to see it happen. I'm trying to manifest it to happen. But regardless, I think it'd be funny if it did happen. But of course, those are my pick'ems for the week. Of course, quicker show. Of course, I'm trying to get back to Auburn basketball because again, only Auburn major sport right now bringing me joy. Because Todd Pettiford lighting it up. Of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What is your prediction for Auburn versus Missouri? And do you foresee a coaching change happening very soon for Auburn going forward? Let us know in the comment section below. Of course, don't forget to always like and subscribe. Of course, getting us to 1,000 subscribers. Of course, we are so close. 14 away from hitting 1K. So thank you all who have already subscribed. I love you all. Hopefully we get to enjoy Auburn football this weekend. If not, we'll be back here on Sunday talking about it and also talking about Auburn basketball as well, getting us ready for that season, talking about Auburn versus Oklahoma and last night's to y'all exhibition game versus Oklahoma State. But of course, I'll be inside the Tunes Country podcast yet again. I'm Dylan Larck. Find me on Twitter at YouBoyTheTank. Find me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck. And with that being said, and as always, War Eagle.